my name is Nico, and thank you for coming back for a brand new video. If you are new though, thank you for coming by, and I hope that you stick around for a while. So, as you can see by the title of this video, we're going to be doing another commentary. And this is on the world versus hair bias. We're going to be talking about hair bias and texturism in today's video. So, let's get started. First off, what is hair bias? Hair bias is the negative stereotypes and attributes that manifest unconsciously or consciously towards natural or textured hair. Hair bias comes from a place of seeing so much product placement around smooth and silky hair that people absentmindedly make the perception that smooth and silky hair is what is more presentable and what hair should look like, how it should feel, and how it should be styled, and so on. On the other hand, more textured hair becomes the perception of what unkempt hair looks like, what is considered unprofessional, and what is deemed not appropriate in certain settings. I'll let you watch these 3 TikToks to get the wheels turning in your head before we go any further.
I think this is affecting me mentally, like long-term shit.
This right here really messed me up because I really feel that way, especially like whenever I like wear my natural hair out like I am right now. Like my posts do not do as well as if I'm wearing a wig, and like that's not okay. So like if you see a black woman with her natural hair out, like that post. Tell her that you love her hair, because it's hard enough to love your hair, especially when it's 4C, child. Please, because all these 3B, 3C girls, y'all be giving them attention. As soon as it comes to a 4, y'all are, ooh, what's that? Can't like that. I'm just saying, like, it's really messed up. It is. So please, don't add to it. Thanks.
Now here is the problem. Hair shouldn't affect what job you get or the lifestyle that you live. Point blank. It is completely unfair when you have 2 people who are equally qualified for a job opportunity, but when it comes down to the decision of who gets that job opportunity, the person who has straight or loose curled hair gets the opportunity because their hair looks more presentable for wherever they're going, and the person with textured hair is not chosen, even though they are both equally qualified. When it comes down to it, it should only be based on experience and qualifications. But of course, sadly, we live in a world where this is not the case, and even in situations that don't call for it, people having a bias for one thing and against another will always come up in decision making, and that's just human nature, and people will make decisions based on their biases, even if it's not outright and someone's told you that they have this bias. I found a very handy website called Perception Institute, and I will be linking everything I talk about considering their findings down below if you guys would like to look for yourself on what they did. But they talked about how in 2016, 𝐚𝐻𝐭 put out this campaign called Break the Walls. And the campaign was on challenging the beauty and retail industries to address the aisle segregation of hair products by race. In most stores, hair products catering towards natural and textured hair are often located in the ethnic section of while products designed for those with straight and smooth hair are often located in the beauty section. Whether or not this product placement separation is a function of store policies and intention or merely de facto industry best practices, Break the Walls charged that routine black hair care product placement away from the beauty aisle confers, at minimum, a subliminal message that natural textured hair is inferior, less desirable, and less beautiful. Furthermore, the Institute stated that with all the product placement that is powered by editorials, fashion, advertising, Hollywood, social media, and the beauty industry as a whole, which is just drives our daily intake of visual, auditory things on a daily basis, said our perceptions stem largely from implicit visual processes, and as a result, our brain separates exposure to smooth, silky hair linked to beauty, popularity, and wealth, creates associations that smooth and silky hair is the beauty default. Naturally, textured hair of black women, by comparison, is notably absent within dominant cultural representation, which automatically otherizes those natural images we see. At best, they are exotic, countercultural, or trendy. More often than not, they are marginal. The Perception Institute is saying that with all of the visual messages we see on a daily basis by the media we intake all the time, it subliminally creates a bias for people to think that a certain hair type is better than another hair type and is more acceptable than another hair type. The Perception Institute even did a study called the Good Hair Study, which, in their words, set out to explore whether Americans generally show bias, implicit or explicit, towards natural hair worn by black women, and whether black women share this bias. I'll share with you some of their findings from this research. On average, a percentage of white women show explicit bias towards black women's textured hair. They rate it as less beautiful, less sexy/attractive, and less professional than smooth hair. Black women perceive a level of social stigma against textured hair, and this perception is substantiated by a percentage of white women's devaluation of natural hair types. Almost all women worry about their hair to some extent. Black women experience high levels of anxiety more than white women. 1 in 5 black women show social pressure to straighten their hair for work, twice as many as white women. The majority of participants, regardless of race, show implicit bias against black women's hairstyles. And I will be linking the entire study below if you guys would like to read that yourself. It was a very interesting study to read, because just seeing how many people had a bias towards certain hair types just so easily, and showed a bias against black women's hair that wasn't loose curled or just outright straightened, was very interesting to see. After reading all this and truly taking a deep dive into this subject, I just think this is so unfair, and it's sad that it seems that it is so ingrained in people to unconsciously think in such a way, because I bet with a good amount of people that they don't consciously think to hate a certain hair texture consciously, and they've been conditioned to think in such a way, and they show a negative bias to one hair texture and a positive bias to another. The way someone's hair looks can be their way of self-expression, a way that they can have an outlet for creativity and something that makes them happy. To degrade and devalue someone just solely based on their hair texture, which is something without chemical intervention is very hard to change, is so rude and uncalled for. Things like texturism, which is favoring black hair with looser, finer curl patterns, can also be roped into this, as bias for loose curls are a more desirable hairstyle and deemed more appropriate for black women if they want to keep their hair natural. I would like to lighten things up though by talking about the Crown Act of 2019. This was first a California law, and the Crown Act stands for, and the word crown stands for, create a respectful and open workplace for natural hair. It prohibits the discrimination of people based on their hairstyle and hair texture by extending protections in both categories. Under the FEHA and the California Education Code, it is the first legislation passed at the state level in the United States to prohibit such discrimination. This is a great thing. This is great, because it's a great thing that is started in California and was actually adopted by New Jersey and New York. And this is the first step in the end of discrimination just on hair texture, because hair texture and the way that your hair is styled, if you wear dreads, if you have 4C hair or just 4 type hair in general, it's so horrible that you can lose out on so many things for something that you cannot control. Like, if you don't want to get your hair relaxed and straightened permanently until you do a big chop and you chop off everything on your head to let your natural hair grow out again, it is so unfair that you have to wear a wig. If you're not into wigs, you might have to, just because that would get you the best job. You have to wear braids because that is the most acceptable if you don't like wearing wigs. And it seems like just black women with natural hair have to take an extra mile just to get certain opportunities. Even black men who wear dreads and they have different hairstyles. Just black people in general who don't have an acceptable hair texture or hair type have to go the extra mile to get things that they want in the corporate world and just in their lives in general. On this whole deep dive on hair bias, I think we can learn a valuable lesson from all of this. Learn that something as simple as the way we wear our hair shouldn't determine our entire lives. How we're treated, privileges we are given, the lifestyle we live, other things like how we treat people, our morals, how we treat others, and so on should be a much more used way of how we treat people accordingly. Because the way your hair is set on top of your head should not determine whether you deserve respect or not in any situation. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, please give this a big like, comment what you'd like to see next, and share this video, and please subscribe if you do like this content from me and you want more in the future. I don't really know what else. Oh, I know what I gotta say. I have a Twitter now, so if you guys want to follow me, do that. Yeah, I got a Twitter, so if you guys want to follow me, do that. If you already did not know, I have a Twitch as well. I haven't started streaming yet, but please follow me, just so when I start streaming, people will be in my stream. Thank you. I will be waiting for those follows. I can wait. Just waiting for those notifications to come through. Oh! There we go. Okay, well, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!